John Kavanagh, thanks very much for joining me. We're here again, sort of wrapping up the weirdest year of our lives, probably. How's 2020 been for you?
Probably the same for most people. It sucked. No, it's been a tough year for a lot of people, and a lot of people suffering a hell of a lot worse than me. But it's hit the gym hard. It's hit some of my friends hard with small businesses around Dublin, and we hope and pray and cross our fingers and toes that Conor gets us off to a good start in 2021, and those good vibes continue for the year.
I know when fighters are, this year training's been disrupted for everyone, right? And I know when they're unable to compete through no fault of their own, sometimes the timing and the sharpness can get off. How is Conor looking in regards to his quickness and his sharpness?
He's the most timiest and the most sharpest I've ever seen him. He really has. He's almost kept up this training camp for the year. 2020 has been it was supposed to be his season, but it seems to have been his training season. So thankfully he did keep his head down on that area, and I hesitate to use the word training camp because that's usually 6 or 8 weeks, whereas this has been 12 months really. But it's peaking at the right time. I feel the last couple of weeks the intensity has been brought up. And we had the thing as well that we had almost every other week we had some new people coming in to kind of keep things fresh, whether it's Phil in Crumlin bringing in a new boxer, or maybe a new grappler coming over from my gym, and that's kind of kept everybody on their toes. But as for looking at Conor himself, I just think you have to look at his physical appearance for a start. My dad keeps ringing me scared that he's had to put on too much weight. He looks like a tank at this stage. But weight's on track, everything's on track. But physically, mentally. Actually, we came across a video of him when we went out there for the first time, which was, I think it was after the Diaz won, so whatever number of years ago that is. And it's almost unrecognizable looking at the difference between those two fights. He's really developed as a professional athlete, and at what is he now, 31, 32, he's entering his physical and mental prime. So his goal is to be quite active in 2021. So there's no point in kind of yo-yoing the diet, like bring it down sensibly. But he is looking fantastic at the moment, and Conor loves a mirror, so keep that jacked appearance for as long as possible.
You mentioned he wants to be active in 2021, and obviously this year he wanted to be active too, but the world sort of fell apart. When you look at the lightweight division, well, we'll start with his fight with Dustin. You know, it's the rematch. They fought at 145 way back when. When you look at Dustin Poirier's evolution as a fighter since that fight, it might be a weird way to put it, but do you think he's gotten better or just tougher? Because the fight since then, he's been in big wars and he's managed to stay in there, whereas Conor put him away pretty early in their fight. When you look at Poirier's evolution as a fighter, what do you make of it?
Yeah, no, I think he's definitely gotten better. You know, there's a few more takedown attempts now in his fights. He has I hadn't seen it before, he has a good guillotine, we can see that. And then his volume and his conditioning is looking on point. And you can see in his fights he has an ability to take a lot of punishment and still come forward. You can pick any of his last few fights to see that quality. However, he's fighting a different animal than any of those guys. Somebody with true one-punch knockout power that he's already felt. And I think you could spend a lifetime going to sports psychologists and talking to this person and that person. That's not going to have been erased from his mind. He knows that he is facing somebody who can shut off his lights very, very rapidly, and now is a lot more powerful and a lot more experienced than he was even then. So it's a tough uphill battle for Dustin, but Dustin's a phenomenal fighter, great fighter, and I know they've got him and Conor certain agreements on charity things outside, which is great. I think that's what professional sport should be about anyway. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one.